Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I realize that this comes in a long string of books that I have posted because I've had a long string of books I've completed in the last little while. Um, anyways, the book today is The Sky is Falling by Kit Pearson. It was first published in 1989 actually. So I was 9 years old when this book came out, but I have the 91 edition. It's a little frayed, as you can tell. It's been well loved. I first got I don't even know when I got it. I probably got it about when I was about 11 or 12. I've always had an interest in fiction, historical fiction. Yeah, you can tell. It's worn. Well loved, well read. Read many times. So I'll just, if you haven't read the book, I will give you a description of the book and then I will tell you what I gave it and why I did. It is the summer of 1940 and all of England fears an invasion by Hitler's army. Nora lies in bed listening to the anxious voices of her parents downstairs. She knows other parents are sending their children to safety overseas, but she is sure her own would never send her away. Then Nora is told that she and her brother Gavin are being sent to Canada. The voyage across the ocean is exciting, but at the end of it, Nora becomes more and more miserable. The rich woman in Toronto who takes them in prefers Gavin to her. The children at school taunt her, and as the news from England becomes worse, she is filled with numbing homesickness. But as Christmas approaches and Nora begins to make friends, she discovers a surprising responsibility that helps her to accept her new country. I really enjoyed it. It was a one-sitting book for me. Basically, I read it in one day. I think I read it over the course of an evening. You're wondering what I gave it. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I really do like this book. I know, it's an old book. It's over 30 years old. But it was probably my first foray into historical fiction. It's one of my first forays. The other one was a book called Days of Terror by Barbara Smucker and The Underground Railroad by Barbara Smucker, also by Barbara Smucker. I also read, it was read to me was the Railroad Children. I can't remember who that is by. But I gave this book, and if you're wondering, I gave this book out of 5. I did say that, didn't I? I think the reason I like it so much is because Nora is much like me. Very stubborn, very, I don't know what to say. She's very much like me. Very stubborn. Very uncertain. I think mostly she's just scared. And she has every right to feel that way. Especially during World War II. A bit of the background in the story is that her grandfather's home gets bombed, but he is out, he survives, he's at the pub. She also has 2 older sisters named Muriel and Tibby. So, yeah, it's aimed for 10-year-olds. She is 10. Nora is 10 years old. Gavin is 6. And, yeah, it's a very cute story. I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorites. I haven't read it for a very long time. I think the last time was about 10-15 years ago. So I haven't read it for quite some time. The story is well done. Really draws on Nora's insecurities as what they call what did they call them? War children, I guess. ward guests. That's what it is. It's the first book in a trilogy. The second one in the book, in the series, in the trilogy, is Looking at the Moon. And the third book in the trilogy is called The Lights Go On Again. And that one is from the vantage point. The third one is from the vantage point of Gavin instead of Nora, which kind of disappointed me at the time. But I can see why she wants to keep it in that middle grade range. Yeah, the age range, I think they said from 8 to 12-year-olds, I think is the reading ability of, I can't remember where I saw that. Yeah. And I really liked it. It was one of my favorite books throughout my growing up years. It was definitely one of my favorites. And yeah, if you have someone in your family, and you've got a kid who is getting out of easier novels or beginner novels, and they want something more substantive, but they're not really quite ready for, say, Lord of the Rings material, this would be a perfect solution. Another solution to that would be books like Bridge to Terabithia and Jacob Have-I Loved. They're all marketed at about the same age range. But yeah, she's a really good author. She also wrote one of my other favorites called The Daring Game, about a girl who goes to board in a boarding school in Vancouver in the 1950s or 60s. I can't remember exactly. And then the other one, it takes place at a camp that a girl goes to visit her aunt and uncle during a summer, and I can't remember what it's called. The top of my head. I have the book. I can see the book right now as I'm I don't know. It doesn't say. There's no list in here about her book, but right, it's called A Handful of Time. That's another really good book of hers. I highly recommend most of her books. I haven't read anything after, I think, the War Guest trilogy. And I think that one, after the Guest War trilogy came a book called Awakened Dreaming, and I'm not sure about that. But yeah, really good books. Highly recommend it. And I especially highly recommend this book called The Sky is Falling by Kit Pearson. I'm sure you can find it in various and sundry places. And before I sign off, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. If you like this and you know somebody in your family that would like what I'm doing, please share it with them. Also remember I have my social media links in the description, along with my bookshop.org site link as well. So you can buy this book and many others through bookshop.org. Anyways, till next time, talk to you later. Bye for now.